Good evening again, folks. Welcome to another edition of MLC Talk. This is the platform we discuss all things Lutheran. Today is August the 2nd, and it's the 10th Sunday after Pentecost. Today is Dr. Toto is going to be our lead host for this month, the month of August. I want to welcome everyone. Dr. Toto, how are you doing there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
Well, I'm doing so great, and again we're happy to be back on the show. Today going to be, I don't know how to describe it. It will be an incredible show today.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, my enemy, like a really, it made me like a cat at the door. Yeah, said this morning, despite the rain, man, my family and we had to still go to pray to tell the old man thank you for everything.
Yeah.
So we went to church. We just got back now to Lord. So again, like I said, I'm the host. We want to welcome you all to our show. We see our dear sister, Kapo. One thing Kapo can fascinate me. All she come on the show, she all dressed, all getting prepared.
Amen.
That's what she bring beauty to the show, yeah.
I mean, couple pastor come anytime somebody come to Banana, couple get dressed.
Yeah, she bring
She can be anytime somebody come to Banana, she can be lit.
she bring beauty to the show, yeah.
When I see my people, that she be very very lit. She can be there as soon as they Banana.
We glad to have
Very dark. Why are you making us I try to recognize the very how are you?
very thank you.
Very good. Thank you, couple.
And
Thank you.
to our viewer out there, share the show. Invite people. We'll be having a good discussion today. This is the platform that's called Lutheran Nation. We discuss about the Lutheran Church in Liberia, the diaspora, wherever you are. Share the show and invite other people while the discussion going on. Call, send your question in. Your question will be rare. We want to have everybody participate in the show. So, Red will be the last. Let me come to our dear sister couple. Like in America, we say on the other side of the river, or maybe Donald Trump or maybe in America.
Mhm.
So, couple,
Yeah, all right.
yeah,
Canada is fine. Canada is okay. Winnipeg, to be precise. Winnipeg is fine. Yeah. 2 nights, 3 nights ago, we had a heavy storm that led us to be out of power for 24 hours. Imagine. So I'm like, am I in Liberia? Someone calling me, I was yelling, LEC, LEC. Yeah. 24 hours we never have current. Imagine, we couldn't find food to eat. All we ate that day was biscuit and biscuit because everything you got to take it from the fridge. You don't matter whether you put it in the store, you do the one for 24 hours. And we really didn't want
Mm.
to do that fast food thing. But at the end of the day, we got our current. And the first thing was to take food to eat because everybody was
Mm.
starving. The
wow.
family is
Mm.
doing fine. My children, they are okay. My husband is fine. And I'm also grateful to God. On the 12th, I celebrated my birthday. And I want to tell God, thank you for allowing me to see another new age. That's part of the trial and temptation. But God is faithful and He remains faithful. I just want to be
Mm.
grateful to God for everything. Yeah.
Thank you, couple. I want to wish you on behalf of the network. I want to wish you happy birthday. Uh, we're happy to hear that your family doing well, and also the big man, the house. We don't know about your husband, the baby, but we say thanks to the papa, the big man,
Amen.
you know, for being the father of the whole.
Mm.
So, with it, what is on your end, man?
Yeah. First of all, before we speak of what is on our end, I told you that today we need to revisit our diary there. I
Get
think
it there, Diary, so yeah.
no, we need to revisit that diary there. I think the value of our sister has has
Decrease.
increased, and we need to revisit that entire diary and make sure because um I mean he can move as close to the very border of Canada, but that's not going to, I've already started gathering some signatures for from our community and our family members for us to revisit our entire diary payment. The guy came all the way down here, Georgia, my man. The guy came, he said, my man, I come and look for. He came all the way here, took me out. Very nice dinner, all of that. I will appreciate him for that.
Yeah,
But
the
the man try to cajole me, but that can work.
Why hair were into touch?
So what they, what
Yeah,
there's certain part about my wife and our 10th anniversary in this year.
yeah.
The South African / Zambia people say after every 10 years I will redirect the woman.
Oh, okay, but then I will hold my peace now on that because if they want all the redirect Zambia,
They say after every 10 years that they called you.
we'll get.
My culture that perpetual.
Tell them we'll try to get the undaf. But
For life.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but on the moves, I'm excited that we can be back. After the summer vacation. People say, "Oh man, you people going." It's not consistent. But sometimes too, we are humans. We got our family, so sometimes we have to take one or two off. So glad to be back. The family and I were in Florida. The kids had an amazing time. But most importantly, today I had the opportunity again to bring the word to my congregation, the beautiful people of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd here in Douglasville, Georgia, and our
You need
sister.
to go to GST now.
you get it that small.
and like everybody in the church, man, thank you. Look, listen, great job, great sermon. Yeah, everybody, But yeah, it was wonderful. My I want to give credit also to God for my congregation in Baltimore People's Community. I know that's in the Lutheran Church in Liberia. That's where it all started. But I'm giving more opportunity here at Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. It's a predominantly white church, but man, I'm telling you, the love in this church is just so much. So they see me as a family, and it's just an amazing opportunity to be with the folks at Good Shepherd. But I want to close on this that last week it was a very, very heavy time for the ELCA, losing the Reverend Patricia Davenport. I mean, it really struck me so hard, and I just want to pray for her family as well, and everyone connected with the Reverend Patricia Davenport. I mean, she had the Reverend Moses Dennis like her handbag. I mean, where he is right now in the ELCA. God first is through the Reverend Bishop Patricia Davenport, and my interaction with her, just the little time that I had with her, I knew the kind of person that she was. So I just want to reflect on that that God will continue to shine His light upon her, and I know that she's looking down here on us, and peace be unto her soul.
Yeah, thank you whatever for that. Our condolences go out to our family or Reverend Davenport for no stranger to many of us.
Yeah.
When it comes to the LC as a whole, she better Liberia couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
The last convention we had there, the Allah convention, she was there with us. The very first meeting that we held in Philadelphia to organize the Liberia Lutheran Association in our meeting.
Yeah.
So she there with us to take a tea, But let's get back to the man of the show.
Man of the hour, right?
The way we'll keep it last for a little bit because they say if you get the man to the pastor,
the pastor forget it.
They will start preaching, Well, to our viewer out there, share the show. Come on, this will be incredible. That's why we want to welcome Reverend Mulbah Zayzay to get open this statement. For those of you what I've been doing, Reverend Zayzay, I'm going to tell you here now.
I mean, we'll start talking about those Reverend Zayzay. I think we'll add this not out to the whole.
I see this man transform, you know, who are in the law, especially with my brother Ghana, when they have that great commission movement, I saw him. The one that brought me, I see my own eye, you know, I
On
saw
the
him,
kolo kolo.
yeah, Kolo Kolo, see how successful, the gradual step he took to be where he is today, you know, I'm so happy of it. So, very want to welcome you to the show. We'll go to discussion, we'll go to jam, you can give us your intro, and then we'll start asking you some couple of questions.
Well, thanks again for the invitation. Good to see all of you. Couple, I mean, I just be seeing you on social media, but it's good that you all are here. Will, Dr. Toto, and the rest of our other team members who are not here. Let me salute you all for what you do in your weak ways to promote our church and what we do for our church. I would just want to say thank you. I also want to use this moment to express on behalf of my family our deepest condolences to the ESCA family for Bishop Davenport. I personally interacted with her during the international conference that I partially hosted when I was still as pastor in charge in Millsboro. I mean, the short time it shows to me that she really not only a pastor but really a mother. We regret her loss, and our prayer with the family that God will use this time to console the family, the entire ELCA family. Thank you again for this time. My wife is in the background. She extends her greeting to you all and our twins, Martin and Maria. Our oldest son is also, I'm sure he also monitoring. A couple of our friends and family who are also monitoring this live interview. I want to say thanks to all of you. We're grateful that we can be here together with you, uh, giving this miracle of digital life. We're grateful that we can be here to interact with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Reverend. Thank you, very
That to do.
again. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Say you open the entire basket about knowing the Reverend. Can we share a little bit of experience too with the Reverend? Share a little bit.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, you
But I
better,
thought I wanted you follow me up on
Just
you,
30
you,
seconds. Just 30 seconds now before we go
you,
into questioning.
you sure 30 seconds will hold
Yeah,
with
just
you,
30?
30 seconds. No,
before we
for
get to
me,
discussion,
I want to say that
okay, I will give you, well, I mean, that's the beauty of the show here, that's why
right.
we get more interactive, make it, don't go, so I'll give you put 30 seconds. What you do about the rary?
I mean,
Mhm,
like everyone else, knowing the Reverend, I've been knowing the Reverend Mulbah Zayzay from from St. Peter's, but one most important thing I want to state here and why he's on live, and I'm very grateful that he has the opportunity to be with us. I know I've told him this in the corner and I've told other people, but I want to say it publicly that the Reverend Mulbah Zayzay and his wife, um, they are the very few, and particularly Reverend Zizi is the one who would check on me and my family. I mean, just I don't know, I would say randomly or so, but like he would just check in. He would
mhm,
just check in.
That's
Hey, bro,
that
Will, how
that
you doing, man?
that's
How's the family?
that's
And it
that's
means so much.
that's
You
it all
know,
right.
it,
I will check on me
right?
too.
It means so much. We are not in heaven. Every one of
mhm,
us are here on earth. The fact that others can just check on you, it means so
mhm,
much. Even those, here in the US or other part of the world, they due to others. I'm not saying that Reverend Zeze is not busy, but he would take upon his time to really just check. And Reverend, I'm so grateful to God for that.
Thank
And I
you.
want to say
Thank
thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank
checking in
God. Thank
always.
God.
Thank you.
Thank
My
God.
regards to Madame
Mhm.
as well. I know she will show her face a little bit.
Eko couple.
Yes.
And happy belated
Thank you.
birthday too. I'll be the first to say
Yeah.
that. They all don't
I,
know your birthday,
yeah,
but
I did mine on Friday. Thank you. I
Yeah,
did mine on
Oh,
Friday
happy
too.
belated birthday.
see
yeah.
that? They said they
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah,
you,
thank
your own
you.
pastor, you know your pastor's birthday. All right,
You go, you go take it for us. Yeah.
Okay, for me,
Uh,
I've been doing very busy after he was assigned to Badnersville. That's
yeah.
way back 2010. Yes, 2009, 2010, around that. When I got another agency. And like everyone said, Larry is a type of jovial person, and he encourages you to do what you love doing. I remember when Reverend King Partners where I was serving as youth president, and he always used to tell me, couple, do what the young people want. If they want you to take them to the beach, carry them on the beach. If they want you for you to dance, carry them to dance. So that was his encouragement. Yes, he said, whatsoever the young people love, let them do it. But let it do it with respect, and they should be disciplined. So Larry is someone who encourages people once you are working. And another thing I admire him for, during the death of our father, he was so much involved in the funeral preparation, in all of our meetings. I mean, in everything, he was there. And when he met his wife, the love went beyond to his wife. And when I got pregnant, let me say this, when I got pregnant for my first daughter, that was during the Ebola time. At the end of during the time where, because I was taking treatment at JFK and Dr. Jara Hospital. But by then, one of my colleagues called me from JFK and said, couple, no, no, you got to find somewhere to be going because we have one case here. So you don't have to come. The place is not safe. So I'm like, oh. So that was how I got in touch with Mother Cecile. At that then she was with James Davis. So for every time she going to the hospital during the Ebola time, she would like place a call, couple, I'm going to the hospital. You will need to come and let me just check you. So when I get to the hospital, she would be like, don't touch anything, just walk just like this. Because but then you are not touching anything. So we just go like this. We don't touch anything. And she will check me, do the ultrasound. She said, okay, everything is okay. So that was the relationship between she and I until my daughter was born. So when I was in labor, she was always in touch with doctors. So she was like, Doctors, it gone 24 hours because I still don't in the work. She say anything after 24 hours, you can go for CS. So she was like, it gone 24 hours. You gotta bring couple over. So, and my mom too was like, our own man, when they talk about C-section, it's like at the party. No matter how
Mm.
much try. So at the end of the day, I didn't go through C-section and I did it was safely. But then that effort and all of this, it happens because of everything. That was true everything we got to know. So that was how the family, like how close we were.
Mhm.
But down the line, it all went the way it went. But yet and still we still consider them as family. Yeah, we still consider them as family. Mother Cecile, and Cecile, the family is still
Okay,
there. But then
keep some
like now, yeah, that what I told you 30 seconds will not be enough.
yeah,
So for now,
keep some of
that's
it.
it.
Now, Barnabas people, you don't get it. Barnabas child is so loyal to me, not check it. So you don't get it 30
Well,
seconds.
hey, what adjustment? Your
Okay.
Luther low Rosie I had it by face. You
Oh,
can be you
yeah.
can put me you can have a face here.
Yeah. Okay, okay. We'll make the
Is that
adjustment.
the
That's why that the people
position?
will make the
Yeah,
adjustment.
you adjustment. You have couple fit be show you your high by face.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
right.
I'm from West to
Yes, it
ridiculous.
is.
Yeah. So that got a discussion, Larry.
You put it in between.
That,
Okay,
yeah,
better.
yeah, so incredible story for the people. For me, I would have opened up and drop bags. I open here. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But Larry, let's add to your pastoral journey. You know,
Mhm.
I saw some of it, but for those that are out there, how are you?
Yeah.
How everything started?
Yeah. So thank you again for this incredible section. My journey is one that we want to describe as resilience. One word. Like George, you regular for over 30 years, of course. At the time you saw me, that was the formative stages I was in. But I came from a background where both parents were not Christian. I didn't experience what you call going to Sunday school. No. Part of my experience was friends who were Christian that would sometimes invite me to church, and this around this time was like on watch night, you know, follow one friend, female friend, and go to the watch night. And in the middle of the night, like, Lord, let's go. It's time to go. That was my life. Went through that and through our civil war, moved to Sierra Leone, came back around 1991, back to Liberia. Then I have the urge that, Lord, my life can't be like that. I must find God. This is how I landed in the Lutheran Church. I started visiting the Lutheran Church and declared my membership around 1991. 1992, yes, got baptized and confirmed in St. Peter's. St. Peter's, my home church. Started serving. Around the same round, 1992, that's when I actually understood the phrase born again. I got born again, went back with the hope of going to the University of Liberia to study biology, with the hope of going to medical school to be a medical doctor. When I got the call, I decided, well, let me respond to the call of God. Around 1994, 95, you all know Moses Goba. We all journeyed together with Reverend Woko. That's how Johnny Goba, Reverend Goba, and I, we enrolled then at the Moravia Institute of Theology that later on transitioned into GST. GST now has moved to Moravia. We were the first batch. Graduated successfully in 1997. Prior to that, graduation exercise in 1997, we were actively involved with the Department of Evangelism as in Peter and other community services. George, you may recall we had a couple of Atari in your home in
Yeah,
Lapasi.
yeah, in my house.
That group. Yeah, that group. Yes, that group was very active, was very strong. So upon graduation, I was privileged, Governor and I was assigned to Konya. Konya became my first parish for a 6 month period internship, I think 6 or 3 months. By this time, Konya was no go zone area. People were just one people were randomly coming to clean their hospital to stay. That's how the few persons that came, we started the church. And because of our presence in Pune, when the family, the church member heard the news that it was a pastor, a young pastor in Konya, around 98, most people started coming back, returning to stay permanently. In 1998 of April, of our convention, me along with several other colleagues of ours, we got ordained and subsequently reassigned to Konya. By this time, it was difficult. Going in those places was very difficult. We served in Konya up to 1999 when the Lur rebel launched their evasion exercise with the hope of unseating then President Taylor. But what happened around this time, I have gone to Moravia as usual because every time I'm going back to my assignment, I have to make sure I have my car, my fare, transportation fare to and fro in petty cash. And the day I run a petty cash, the next day I will tell my people I have to leave because I don't want to. I would not want. I don't want. I would not want to stay to deplete that money and then I will be stranded. So I came back to Moravia. This is around 1999, late 1999. The executive council decided me and three other colleagues of mine we were disrobed as pastor in the Lutheran Church. The Reverend Juma Fulate, some of you will know Reverend Fulate,
Yeah,
Reverend Robert Marshall, some of you may be familiar, Reverend Robert Marshall, who were very active in the youth those days.
yeah,
All three of us were disrobed on grounds that we refused to take over assignment, which was never the case. It was never true. Of course, in my pursuit, I said, well, I can just leave this, even though the constitution we have back then, it has said that before you disrobe any pastor, that person must have a hearing, even though we didn't have a hearing with the executive council. I pursued my case and met the late Bishop Harris, and he said to me, what happened? And I explained. He said, but nobody told me that. I said, yeah, but Bishop, that's why you should call us. We are your sons to hear our side of the story. Well, Fast forward, he said to me, well, just do a letter to me. I will persuade the executive council for your reconsideration. And that's what happened in my case with Fullerton. I remember Ferrero Marshall, he felt very frustrated. He said, this is not the church he envisioned. He didn't want to be bothered. Of course, Ferrero Marshall decided to stay away. So when I was reconsidered, they decided, executive council said through the BMTA, to be sure that this gentleman want to stay, let's send him to the southeast. Grand Cru Parish, that's what I will call. And Grand Cru Parish was covering two major counties. That is the Grand Cru itself and Maryland. So I was the official pastor, the first pastor assigned to Grand Cru. That's how I went to Grand Cru. And that became a history of our presence in Grand Cru. Why in Grand Cru? In 2001, in 2001, the similar experience I have in Kona is the same time I have it. If I had to leave Moravia to go to Grand Cru, I had to take with me both my transportation to and fro. If I run it, I have to leave. In Grand Cru, this is around 2000, earlier 2003. I have come to town on our way back to conduct a wedding ceremony on one of our deacons. That is how we were diverted. Around the Sino area, there was a rebel activity there by Model. So I didn't go. We all returned to Morovia. And then late May of 2003, I was offered an opportunity through the bishop office to represent the Lutheran Church in Germany, to participate in a global event that brought both the Lutheran and the Catholic together, and to present a paper on the role of the church in the Liberian crisis. We succeeded in that. And when I returned in late 2003, 2004, my colleagues elected me as president of the Pastoral Fellowship. And subsequently, I was also assigned then to Barnesville. That's how I went to Barnesville to serve. That was my first urban church. Barnesville Lutheran Church was my first urban church that I served there for over 10 years, from 2004 and then up to 2013 before we exited. And when we exited, we moved to Millsburg in 2014. We stayed to Millsburg up to 2005, another 10 years, serving God's people in that area. And then in 2002, as we were all praying and trusting God for a leadership in our church when Bishop St. Claude time was over, after a prayerful consideration, my wife and I decided, yeah, let's try. I mean, you have the experience. You are working the rural, you are working the urban, and
Yeah,
you are
ready,
working with your
Wakanda,
colleagues.
ready. Wakanda, that side. Don't rush. Yeah.
All right, but you
Yeah.
asked for the journey, so I just
Yeah,
summarized the
yeah.
journey.
Wakanda, the visual election.
All right,
Wakanda,
all
Wakanda.
right, all right.
Yeah,
All right.
couple.
So basically, in a synopsis,
Yeah.
that is my journey in the LCA. And today, one of those pastors that is fast working in different parishes. I stayed in the Moravia district for the last 15 years and then went to the Kakata district with the Fremantle parish just a year. Then I was asked to come back to the Moravia district presently. I'm a pastor in charge at Trinity Lutheran Parish in Fountain Town, Matadi, where we serve. That we serve. I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to do that as well with God's people on our end. So yes, in the LCA, these are the things we're doing at the level of our call to serve God. So
Yeah, thank
thank you.
yeah, Reverend, I don't know how to describe it, that's a I know that's a marathon run or incredible run.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
yeah,
journey. It can be how about auto I read book. If I want to read a book, that's a good topic I could write up.
yeah,
Your journey. You have some testimony, especially from the Konya era, you know, and down the southeastern part of Liberia. Those are challenges
mm,
era that you serve.
Yeah,
to pray.
especially around those times. So,
We thank God. We'll come back. I will take all the Makoli, and then they will ask a question, and then we'll come back to make the discussion very interactive to our viewer out there. If you have any
okay.
comment or question for Larry, you can post your question in the chat. We'll read your chat, and then if you want to call, we have the number. We'll share the number on the screen for you to call to participate in the discussion. So let me go to our dear sister couple. Couple, you listen to the incredible journey of Reverend Zayzay. What do you have for you?
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you, Dr. Toto. Thank you so much, Ravizazi, for
Thank you.
that those salient point that was raised and how your journey began when it comes to being pastor, of which all of us have enjoyed today.
Mhm.
But there are a few things that you pointed out during your explanation. You talked about one of my first question I had was there any point in time you refuse any assignment, but I think you touched that, but I just want you to go in depth because I remember this is not a strange thing. These things were said. Yeah. So I just wanted to go to further elaborate on that. And you talk about you being disrupted and you met Bishop Harris and he said he did not know. So how possible can that be that a pastor of LCA will be disrupted and the bishop was not in the know? So how did it happen? How your disruption came about? And Terry, how do you feel or how do you look at people of faith being this rope being suspended and not going through proper investigation or not going through investigation? How do you see that as a church? It is whether it is in a good faith or there's a negative aspect of the church, but how do you see that as a pastor? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, couple. Let me start with the last question. Uh, the church should be the church.
Reverend,
And what I mean,
Reverend,
ah, uh-huh.
one second. Let me just interject. We make the
Okay,
discussion interactive, right? So somebody talking,
okay,
the moderator come in to
okay,
to
to,
ask or talk in the discussion based upon couple questions she asked.
okay,
And happy to
right.
address that. Yeah, so you can go ahead.
So, like I say, the church should be the church. The church should be a place of for of accountability, transparency. So justice should be the hallmark of what we do. It's unfortunate, and I understand sometimes we import in our church life and activity our own humanness that go along with biases. That people will be prejudiced on the issue, which I believe is wrong. In my view, couple you work with me in Banner's way. If it is wrong, no matter who it is. Let the person know it is wrong respectfully, that what you say is wrong. But again, over time, uh, based on our own humanness, we see some of the things that come into play. But some of were affected. You talk about how Bishop, I was affected by that. The Bishop never called us to ask us what happened. This is what I be hearing about you or about your why. No. And everything that was reported for me in my case was not true. That I refused to go and assignment. That was never the case. That was never the case. No. I was on assignment. I was there all through. But again, I can tell you for fight because the two senior pastors who led this fight against me, so to speak, was the late Reverend Tupa Sango. And in fact, Peter Wilson testified to that every time he went to executive council meeting, Tupa Sango would report that I'm not saying our assignment. So I asked him, what do you mean I'm not saying our assignment? And all those years are over there, he never visited me as a young minister. Let's go see what is happening here, this and that. No, no. And I felt that that was injustice on the part of the church against us. And when I explained that to Bishop Harris, then he said, "Oh, but I didn't know this is what you were going through." Because then he started telling me that some of the board members are saying that they gave you money to go back, they transported you. So I said, "Bishop, let us show one voucher here to show that I came and spent any money to transport me back." But after all, again, the church is about reconciliation. And I followed his advice. When he asked me, "Okay, please write and say you say sorry, and then you want to come back," and I did. And that's how I came back, to serve, and then I was then reassigned to the southeast. And today is it's a history. It's part of our journey, right? But it can be very painful, and when you being wrongfully labeled, it can be very painful. Yeah, and other experience. Yeah, yeah. And the first question was, please remind me. I'm trying to get your first question.
I
So
did it.
no, I think you touched it. What about that? Any point in time you
Thank you.
refuse an assignment? I
Yeah.
think you
Oh,
touched
okay,
that.
no, I
Yeah.
never, I never refused. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I didn't.
That's-
So
In the
very
church, I don't refuse assignment. I encourage pastors to take on assignments.
so very
Yeah.
before I bring what it in. Let me get your thought on this. Yeah, you don't have you don't force to answer it, but you can just pass it. But you get your thought on it. You talk about due process in the church. You talk about your experience during Bishop Harris time. Uh, you feel that due process was not according to you correctly. You went through that appeal process. Uh, re- Recently, the LCE, the former chair for the BMT, uh, Rabbi Jara, Rabbi Jara, even though he accepted his appointment, but Rabbi Jara complained that there was no due process. I don't give it to him for what he did, and they say the Bishop Pablo wrote him that they were releasing from his position. He asked why, and there was no due process gave it to him, but he respected the bishop's decision. The bishop appointed, the bishop dismissed. But I think deep down in his heart also he felt that there was no due process according to his. What do you have any thought on that?
Yeah, the thing about our church is that the Constitution gave our bishop the authority to appoint and to assign. It is also in the purview of the bishop to ask you to step aside. So I think in his case, that's what was done. I don't know what led to the bishop asking him off or not to stay. I don't know that. But in my view, if there are special issue that he's aware of, he has been the chairperson for board of ministry adjudication. That's what that board is involved with. But when it comes to appointment, it is solely the role of the bishop to appoint and to ask you out or to ask you in. That, yeah, the church, the LCA, yeah, we believe in due process. That's true. But for his case, it's just unfortunate that for me, I don't have the specific details of it, but I'm looking at the lens of appointment. It is the bishop prerogative to appoint any of us minister or layperson to a particular task that he feels that you can deliver on. So if you are there and your time comes that you have to ask you to leave, better you leave. Yeah, it's better you leave. So
Can I do a follow-up question when you're done?
Yeah, do you have father the way they get taken from us?
Yeah, concerning the issue of the former dean or in general of whosoever, uh, you talk about the bishop has the right to appoint and to recall. Yeah, it is true. The Constitution say it. But then, what if there is some allegation labor against you, right? And because of that, you have been removed. Does that give you the right to go through investigation, or it doesn't give you the right to go through investigation on the issue of my name have been implicated? So I need to clear my side. I need to explain what happened. But then all of a sudden, I wasn't given that opportunity, right? and then I was recalled. So in that case, what do I do? Because there will be some hard feelings in the process. They assume I was lied on, or whosoever was lied on. So I think the issue of due process should come in when an allegation have been placed on someone, but wherein the person have worked over the past 5, 10 years, and because of the time frame, okay, the bishop say, okay, couple have worked in the position, so we want to reassign her. That makes sense. But wherein there's some allegation level, I think it is better to go through the due process. Yeah, to establish what really went wrong.
So, in my view, I think we all are saying the same thing here, that due process is expedience in any case. But when it comes to the length of appointment, that's my argument. It is a prerogative of the bishop to appoint. It is a prerogative of the bishop to recall. If for any reason the appointee have issue, that is altogether different thing, right? That is altogether different thing. But in the case of Reverend Jala, this issue went to convention. Convention even resoluted that he should be replaced for a time frame, right? And that would have been a perfect place to raise any issue that he felt that he needed clarity on or redress. You know, yeah.
Okay. Okay, take it from us. And then pass it off to us.
Wow. Um, hats off to Mother Zizi.
This,
I want to really say thank God for her because
Yeah, I
listening
agree. Thank
listening
you
to
very
your
well.
listening to your journey and what you've gone through, and the children as well, because
Oh yeah.
having a young family and being assigned in these rough terrains,
oh
and
God.
the family is still, but yeah. um
Hmm.
Reverend, my attention is, I want to focus my attention on this issue of you may call it shifting, or you know reassignment, or repositioning of pastors. Is there a constitution provision that, um or there's a bylaw, maybe a pastoral handbook that says, you know if Reverend Zeze is assigned to a rural part, for 15 years, then assign him to another rural part for another 15 years or 10 years, and just have like the total be cycling in the urban area. Is there, is there any rule? Do we have rules on the book for that, or it's just again the discretion of, you know the higher up? I want you to
So
educate on that, please.
yeah, so well, I will be very sustained in my response.
Okay, all right.
There is a constitutional provision for
Okay,
assigning all ministers, whether reassignment. In fact, there is an amendment we did a few years ago that pastors will be rotated after every 5 years.
okay,
We have that on the book. Yeah. Additionally, we have a pastoral ministerial, not pastoral, but ministerial handbook. When I talk about ministerial, is inclusive both the ordained deacon and deaconesses. A ministerial handbook that clearly details all of our roles, what we are expected to do as minister in our roles or different area of assignment. If for any reason a minister should violate any of those rules, what needed to be done, we have that document that I think it should be before executive council to approve or if or to work with, right? But over the period of time, yes, we got one principle that got our assignment. And that principle is that the bishop is the one that does the assignment or reassignment and the recall. And over the period of time, it's been discretional at the will of the bishop. Yeah, that's what it been.
All right. Thank you, thank you. That's another conversation for another time. Um, but
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. But Reverend, you mentioned of the okay. So the ministerium is the ministerium considered the same as the pastoral fellowship? Yeah, there's a
The
follow there's a
ministerium,
follow up question to that. I just want to know if it is considered as the same. The
no,
pastoral
the
fellowship.
pastoral,
Okay.
the pastoral fellowship is an is a part of the ministerium. Like I said, the
Okay.
ministerium is inclusive.
Okay.
The ordained deacons, deaconesses,
Okay.
and we the ordained pastor. So the pastoral fellowship is an auxiliary group of the ministerium exclusively for us, the ordained pastors.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
I will reserve that question maybe the day we have the Reverend Jemani Wigi or whoever is the vice president or members of the leadership of the pastoral fellowship. I have a question.
Well,
I'll
you do
reserve
a
that.
follow up to that too, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were coming, couple. I just want to. I don't want to lose my thought on this. On the issue of the issue of suspension, recall, and disrobe and all of that. Um, is there a process wherein maybe say like in secular government, someone is suspended, be or pending investigation, or um that, that's
Please
okay,
go,
Reverend.
please,
Yeah,
please
yeah.
repeat that
So
question one more time, please.
no, no, that's good. So my question is, like in the in the secular area, for example, in government or in some private jobs, they will ask someone to
Yeah.
be suspended pending investigation or something like that. Is there an opportunity for that? Say, for example, in your case, I know you explain your case, but my question is, if you had not gone to the bishop, was there an opportunity to say, okay, there's a group or a board or a committee say, okay, I was suspended, or Reverend Zizi, you are suspended, and you are recalled, you're suspended, go and meet this board for investigation. Or if you had not met the bishop, that was it. That it means that there's no inquiry to listen to your side, nothing like that. That's just it.
Yeah, well, you came in broken, but I'm sure you're talking about being suspended, being recalled. Is that what you?
No, okay. So my question is, have you not met the
Uh-huh.
bishop, like Bishop, the late Bishop Small Harris, and said, all of the allegations against me, they are not correct, and you explain your side to him, then he said, okay, there's a way out, and you follow the instructions that he gave you. So my question here is, are you not going to meet the bishop and based on rumors that you be suspended and you were suspended or you were recalled, you were disrobed? Is there a committee or board to? Oh man, I think the Reverend is having some. That so that
Yeah, yeah.
you get
Look,
the point from which I'm coming.
I want to say
So,
a question. I want to say
right?
exactly what you say because
Can I go someone for redress?
I wanted to dive into that also too. Do they have a
Right.
committee for redress where the bishop can just recall you anytime or fire you for an allegation against you that what couple was saying? Look, or the issue of that look at the issue of what happened recently, the issue of Dr. Jada.
Right.
Dr. Jada case. Dr. Jada case, first of all, Dr. Jada argument was, first of all, the case now you're supposed to go to convention. The bishop, when I pointed out, the bishop has a right to fire him. Now you don't go to convention, but the convention will make a decision. So based upon what our representatives say, the bishop appoint and dismiss. Then why the case should go to a convention?
So why issue that's my point where the issue
No,
of
why the case have to
allegation
go to
comes
convention?
in.
So
Right.
if the
And that's my
convention,
point.
So if the convention take a decision, then due process to be taking place.
Have to be taken. Then
Right.
there was some
There should be
allegation
a
later
committee.
against that person.
Can I argument?
Right.
Yes. So
There should
that's why
be.
I was asking, right? The bishop has the right to appoint and recall. So if for any reason convention will make a decision, then there was some allegation labeled against that person of which it was taken to convention for convention to make a decision. And now the person should be given a due process to clear his or her part of what happened of the accusation.
The
So that's
couple.
the point.
Couple.
And
What I want to
another
say
thing
is,
again, I wanted to ask concerning the issue of the pastoral fellowship, right, Dr. Toto? The pastoral fellowship, whether is a legal body on LCL, of which decisions are made and they are bounding on their fellow pastors, or it is just a body where all of the pastors came together and said, okay, I think we need to unite and have this fellowship and call it a pastoral fellowship. So these are things we should be looking at. So if it is not something that is recognizable, then the issue of decision when it is made at any of that gathering, then it shouldn't be like bounding unless when there is some abdominal rules for them that say so. But if the Constitution didn't give them the right, then I don't know. That's how I see it.
yeah,
I don't know.
the Reverend is back. I want to thank God
Yeah,
for that.
thank you. I'm back.
Yeah, but Reverend,
Yeah.
my question is, is there
Really?
oh, are you hearing me?
Yeah, we
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay,
hearing
all
you.
right. So my question is, had you not gone to
I'm
meet
not
the
hearing Willie.
bishop?
You're hearing da, 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 da.
We can hear you,
Yeah,
couple.
couple. Maybe you want to go. You want to
You
go out and
hearing
come back in.
Willie?
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes, they
hear
can hear me,
couple.
couple.
I
I'm
can
here.
hear a couple too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
hearing
Yeah,
yeah,
Willie.
I'm
hearing
hearing
you.
couple as well.
I'm
Maybe
not
couple
hearing Willie. I will
wants to.
go off and come
Yeah,
back.
go off and come back.
Yeah.
So, Reverend.
Yeah.
So let's say, was there an opportunity for redress? I know you met the bishop. Okay, so and I know we have the BMTEA. Okay, was there an opportunity wherein allegations were leveled against you and the board had recalled you, or the board had recommended that you be recalled and sent to a committee, or for example like the BMTEA, to hear you, and after the BMTEA has investigated, or a committee, a special committee has investigated and come with their findings to the executive council, then the executive council made her decision? Or was it that based on hearsay that you were, suspended or you were disrobed? I mean, how was the process like? Were you accorded this due process?
In my case, well, I told you no. Due process was not accorded me in keeping with the constitution we had then. Right. Never, it never happened in my case. Right.
So just to follow up quickly,
Yeah.
generally is the process wherein, okay, I'm suspended from feasible parish. I'm recalled from feasible parish based on allegation, and I'm sent to, for example, the BMTEA to investigate, and the findings are sent to the executive council to make a decision, or someone just say, okay, Willie is not doing well in feasible. They recall me from feasible and suspended me or disrobe me from feasible, and that's it. And unless I go to Bishop Palmer and say, Bishop Palmer, I beg you, it wasn't the right thing that people said, and he and I had the same conversation, and he said, right, and I wrote, I read this letter, and he went to executive council and said, oh no, you know what? I went by and investigated. This not is true, and Willie did this. Willie did not do this. Let's put him back, and they put me back. Is that the process? I'm just asking for the process. What does the Constitution says when it comes to this process, or the ministerium handbook?
So well, I just told you the ministerial handbook, a detail on all the specific issue that you are raising when it
Okay,
comes
all
to
right.
suspension of
Okay,
pastor
okay,
that will lead to disrobement, that will lead to other punitive actions. There are It's laid out in our ministerial handbook, giving the specific detail, the processes. So those information are there. So no one will just complain a pastor and then the bishop or the executive council take decision to robe. You know, there's a process. There
There's
is
a
a
president
process.
now,
And
but in the past it wasn't.
yeah, it was there before.
Or
I
it
give you
was
a
not
case.
adhered to.
I give you a case when the issue about Reverend Orito Davis, the Bishop Emeritus St. Clair himself reported this case to the BMT, and the Bishop himself subjected himself to be investigated.
Okay.
So Bishop St. Clair was her, Orito was her, and before the board took a decision against Reverend Orita Davis. You all know the story that she
Right.
didn't participate in the 2022 election because of the decision and the recommendation of the BMT.
Okay.
That process is there. Yeah, it's there.
Oh, it was not a call at you.
Was
So
it followed? That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah,
followed then?
yeah. That's true. It wasn't a quarter
Okay,
mean.
okay.
That's
All
that's
right.
a
That's the
fact.
clarification we just wanted.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. That's true.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes
yeah,
That's good.
sentiment can override some of these activities. That's right.
so
Yeah,
Tom,
but we are a church now. The
So
church is
should we
the church.
continue? Should we continue to have sentiments when there are rules and regulations
No, we
that we all
shouldn't. We
should
shouldn't.
follow,
No, we shouldn't.
especially
We
as a
shouldn't.
church?
It's good. It's good. You remember earlier when you asked about this thing, I said the church got to be the church. The church got to be the church. We have to strive to do it the right way, and when we're doing it the right way, it's not about a person or group of people. It should be about the system that we want to adopt as a church. Yes, you know,
so so
that's it.
let me get back to my rule. Talk about fast spelling. We want to go to the second part of the discussion. Then from there we'll kind of recognize our guests to take question for the queue and who are watch for us. Uh, Remy, you said a lot, so don't come and preach to us again. Who wants
You already had a sermon today.
yeah, who wants to learn something? So, so
But
yeah,
it's
Remy,
good that he's interactive. That's why.
yeah, so Remy, let's look at this log here now. What
Uh,
what motivated you to 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 run for the bishopric election? What lesson you took from there? What really motivated you?
yeah, yeah. So among several things that have been said here already, uh, there are factors. Those are factors that motivated me against the backdrop of allowing God to lead me in that decision to step up to this because we believe that we wanted a church and we still desire that a church where everyone will feel a part, not people will feel somehow that so, but everyone will feel belong to that I'm part of this church. Yeah, and that for me and my wife, that was a motivating factor to the extent that some felt that we came in late and we were considered as an underdog. Yes, that was how we were labeled, of course. But with God on our side, we arrived at what we all celebrated in Banga because we wanted our church to be a united church. Yeah, we wanted the church to be a united church. That's what we arrived at. What lesson did we learn? Yeah, we learned a lot. In unity, there is strength, there is success, and that we can achieve beyond our own imagination when we are united with the one mind. When scripture said, let the mind be in you, that we can achieve a lot. Right.
So Remy, before I get to my host, some of your creative. What if some of your creative they say you didn't have no plan, you're not prepared, you are just like a sporter, you just jump into the race. Uh, what what is your response to that?
When those who have said that and may want to say that again is because maybe they did not see what we have. We had a plan. We didn't just jump into this blindfolded. By the grace of God, God has blessed me. When you're talking about educated people in the Lutheran church, when you count 10, at least I may be the 11 or 12 or 20. I'm among that category. That's the way the police. So I didn't just join me today because I want to join me. I came in here with purpose. Yes, we have plan. We have full plan, and that plan is still there. Will be modified, will be improved on in the coming years ahead. That we all, like you all on this show, that we can pull hands together and move our church to the place they wanted to be. Yeah, we had a plan. You know, we
Couple, you
had a
want to come
plan.
in?
Nobody coming.
What is, what is any question for Rory?
Oh yeah, sure. I do have questions. We into the electoral process, right? Or the
Yeah,
past election, right?
yes.
Um, Reverend, something happened at the past elections. That was I think that was, people say first time in history, but the first of its kind, for a leading contender. And correct me if I'm wrong. In my opinion, a leading contender would say the old man and the young boy, going to a race. Though the young boy had a shot, at it. Like the former president Joe Biden would say, you had a shot, but
Hmm.
you look at everything, and you decided to stand down. I know we've heard some comments, some comments. What actually motivated you? I know God was involved, and today you had a sermon, but let's put that aside first, right? What really happened? What conversation was held? you know, to stand down, because we heard about the race. We heard that you had a shot, and the old man too had a shot. And per the constitution, I think it should be 50 plus one or something like that. But you had a very
Yes,
good
Lord.
shot, like the old man. And I know it must be the special grace of God to say, you know what? But what happened? What was said? What happened in that little, the Loma will say Sekugizi. What really happened? Yeah, we want to know what happened that day. What happened that night? Was it came to come, or you the papa came over to you and,
Hey,
and, and,
it's
and
okay
look
now.
at you like a son, or
You
what
have to
happened?
be
We want to know what
sure.
happened.
How you want to scrap this question? Really?
Well,
Couple,
well.
couple, I've been having a question on my heart to ask. Please.
All
Uh-huh.
right. Really, you've been having a question, and when you came down for the celebration, you didn't ask this question.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah, but thank you. I've actually responded to this, but I can go back over for you. And let me say the emphatically clear here. When we announced for the runoff, I went to Reverend Gono, I went to Rita's team, and I went to my brother Reverend Goba. And then when we came back, while the commission were getting ready, I pulled my wife aside in the crowd. For some reason, we held hands and prayed.
Wow.
And I said to my wife, this is what the Holy Spirit impressed upon my heart. Let's allow Reverend Pablo Dan to take over for the sake of peace and unity in our church.
Wow.
And she said to me, Alma said, that's what I want to tell you. This is just the two of us. This is just the two of us. I said, all right, you agree with me? Yes, we hear him and pray. But the truth is that around this time, I didn't know that people were already looking out for me. No, no, no. And then my team members, um, thankfully, graciously to all of them, we all were having the same mind. And when we met, and they said to me, Reverend, what next? I said, well, in the first place, let me tell you, thank you that we came this far. This is why many thought we couldn't reach. This is, but we have reached. We have set the records. But in the meantime, My wife and I will pray and I will ask her to break the word. And she said exactly what I've said, that we believe we should back off and allow Reverend Palmer then to take on for the sake of peace and unity in the LCL.
But
And when she
secret
Re-
said that,
is later. That's good.
when she said that, I said, yes, that is our decision. And we want you to join us. And there was this few seconds of silence. Then Thomas Cater said, well, Reverend, this is a move. And every one of us, we laughed about it. And we all had hands. We agreed. We think we can go for the sake of peace, we can move with it. And prior to this time, Will, there were a lot of error. I have all reason to put an end to that election because my name was misspelled on the ballot. My name was misspelled. I was said, this is not my name. I mean, several things happened along that line. For some reason, I don't know why, but that's how that decision was reached. Nobody came to me. Bishop Palmer never reached out to me, even though the president of the Pastoral Fellowship then, I heard Jumani Wiki were looking for me. No, nobody. Nobody. Yeah, that's how that decision was reached. And she and myself, my wife, myself, the team member, we went to the commission chair, Father Fromoya, James Fromoya, because they said we were struggling because there are no ballot paper, logistics were all limited. And we said to this is our decision. So no run up. Let's
Okay.
go so we can announce this and then turn it over to Reverend Palmo, announcing as the next bishop elect. That's how it was done in that very simple but powerful manner, and we don't regret that decision today. We don't regret that, and I'm grateful for all of those who are stood with us from 2020, 2022, even now in guiding us toward that decision. We don't regret that. We're grateful. We're grateful for that decision. Yeah.
Thank you very for that.
Father,
Oh,
Just
Father,
one second, quick.
I
Papa, you
don't know.
never had question.
Hold on,
I
hold
want to say
and
this
I
quickly,
never had
Director,
question. I
please.
told you
on.
to come in. I was
Hold
still
on.
writing my
Hold on, hold on,
thoughts.
hold
Director,
on. Hold on.
Just 1 minute,
You,
please. I beg
it,
you. 1 second.
hold on.
One second, please.
Rock, make
Remy,
it back.
I
Yes,
know,
sir.
I know. There's the ministry. Is that a possibility? Because a lot of people know you in the front. They will see you, the face of this ministry, but can they see the prayer warrior behind this ministry? Can we? Can the audience is mother available so people can just see the woman who brought this great, you know,
Yes,
resolution in the Lutheran Church in
yes.
Liberia?
Mother is going to come. I will get her to come.
Yeah. What I'll call later on.
Don't rush
Yeah.
the
You
when
make
you
very
want to rush
disrespect.
the
But
one
You very
listen,
we
disrespect.
still
listen,
discussing
never.
Mola at the end of the day. Mola will still cancel. We
Yeah.
can see her
Mother
face.
will come to greet.
Yeah.
Mother will come to greet.
The
Certainly, mother
game
is going to
the
come to
creator.
greet.
That one
Yeah,
of my player where before
That was
very
powerful.
I
yeah.
will follow up
yeah.
on that, right?
So the
Yes,
benediction.
yes, Papa.
So I would do. Papa, you ask one question. You ask
Yes,
people one question.
very you
Papa, hold on
said
one second.
that you
Papa, just hold on one
yeah,
second. Hold on to
okay.
housekeeping. You ask one question for your question. Want to go to the queue to record our guests to take questions. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Where we can address them, then we'll try to wind down the show. I know it later. We're getting late night, like people are ready to take some rest because where people feel that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
body.
So yeah. So ask the
It's
question.
okay.
Yeah.
I like the
Oh,
interest base.
Yeah.
okay. Rabbi, you said that you reach out to the different camp. I stand to be correct, there, right? You say you reach out to the different camp, and
Yes. I
after you
said,
reach out to them,
mhm.
when you're reaching out, you came up with the decision that you will not go for runoff. You will just give it out to our current bishop. But my question is, after you reach out to the various camp, was the decision was the answer that they gave you, was it not favorable that made you to come up with the decision that you came up with, or they were all favorable outcomes, but then God just spoke to you and said, okay, you just let it be, and you make that decision, or was it based on the outcome of the reaching out?
So when we reach out to be specific now, to Janice, to Reverend Davis, and Reverend Goba Combs, they all said they were going to consult and then get back to us. That were their responses, that they were going to consult and get back to us. So was it within that transition that we made our decision.
Okay.
Well, whether they agreed to get back to us, no, they said they were going to consult to get back to us. Right.
Okay. So what can
Was
we
there any member of your team that got mad at you after you make that decision?
Oh no. In
Was there
fact, after we made that
anybody in
decision,
your team?
no, after the decision was overwhelmingly received, and if you were at the convention or you managed to watch it in the video, a time of jubilation and celebration, because I mean, people were all exhausted. It was a great relief because the tension at that convention, I'm seeing that in my years in the LC, it was more the tension packed, Yeah. So nobody got back to me to say, oh, you didn't come back. We told you were going to come back. Why you are the way? No, 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 no.
Okay.
so what can we record
Right.
as a guest? See what get a queue. Then we'll come back to start warning the artists.
Yeah, absolutely. But we also have a few questions. Our mother, Veteran Nangbe Johnson, want to say, welcome, my junior brother, Emmanuel Sumo Kobo, welcome, and Nathaniel Go want to say welcome as well. It says Dede Sana. I said when it's Banate, everybody, all the Banate people will come. My cousin Cesar Guia just came back from Liberia. Um, they met had a good time in Lofa County, and he said he's a perpetual apologist. He's here again. Lee Ross Sunquella Mulbah, we want to say welcome. Our sister patient Howley, Howley, welcome. The Reverend J. Wokolo Colley, he said, I'm watching from a bungalow there in Margibi County. Our Mother Konya want to say welcome. Mother Konya is there in Indiana. Uh, uh, Brother G. Wesley Colley, thank you so much. Thank you. Avina Patience Small wants to say thank you. Our dear brother, and that's Uncle, I will take that back. My uncle, Paul F. Fala. All right. And there's a question, Reverend. What did the Constitution says in relations to suspension? Okay, I think you've addressed that. The Reverend Royal Jerome Jala, man, sometimes the guy his name can confuse me. I would say Reverend when I see the R, then I say, oh no, it's Royal Jerome Jala. But you can claim it, Jerome.
Let's extend our sympathy to Jerome. Jerome
Yeah,
lost
and
his
also, yeah,
mom.
sorry, Jerome. I want to extend our deepest condolences to you and your entire family. May God, continue to console you and the family for the loss of your mom. So sorry. Um, my uncle again is here, my Uncle Paul Fala. He said, frankly, it should be to be a rural pastor, the person should be given training, provided with facilities, etc. It is to the disadvantage of urban pastors. It is to the disadvantage of urban pastors to be reassigned to rural congregations, churches, and parishes. The LCL can begin training rural pastors by first recruiting congregation deacons in the various areas, churches, send them to Total for training and subsequently ordain. These trained rural ordained deacons will now be ready to take over from age and long serving pastors. I think this is a long one. He said,
That's
"Oh,
another discussion there too.
yeah, okay, yeah."
Yeah, that's all. I mean,
Back to
that's a
another
good question.
conversation again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Abraham Sipo, we want to say welcome. Thank you so much. Again, another Bannersville. Brother Koklo Nyankwe, want to say welcome. Thank you so much. Another Bannerville again. Dada Howard. Um, he says my it's a peaceful Reverend Mulbah Zayzay. That's Mother Howard right there. And, this time around, my uncle has a question again. He said, "Will you carry out similar discussion by supporting another candidate if you or decision by supporting another candidate
No.
if you come out as third in the next bishopric election, or will you remain until a two-third majority is obtained?" So, Reverend, please take note of that question. That question is from my uncle there from St. Matthews. You got a question, right, Reverend?
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
repeat
got a
it.
question.
Okay. We'll get back to it. Uh, my aunt Vliga Bien, that's from St. Matthews. Dede Kamara, also Dede Kamara is joining us from somewhere on Facebook. And my brother Wesley Colley, he said he's watching. He's watching everyone. He's watching with eagle eyes. That's
Wesley come to church today.
Wesley,
Okay,
Wesley is watching.
that's it. So
Yeah.
can
So we have one question from my uncle Paul Father, but I think mother was around. Maybe I don't know, but
Yeah, mother is around, so I
yeah.
just
So
told
yeah.
her you are asked she's so she
yes,
come to
we
do.
So
want to see that
Come to
powerful prayer lady behind this
yes,
the
behind
very
this
very powerful.
ministry,
You gotta come
ministry
to
of
me.
Reverend
You come
Mother
be on
F.
here.
Zizi.
You can be on here.
that was
This
those
There
is
you
guys.
go.
my first
That's mother right
meeting.
there, everybody.
This guy,
With
here he is.
Hello.
That's
Yeah,
mother right there, everybody. That's mother
yeah, my first meeting.
Zizi
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
so much,
so
yeah,
mother.
thank
Thank
much.
you.
you.
Say something now.
Hello,
So,
everybody. Hello,
Hello, mother.
everybody.
Thank you.
Hello.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
there's now one question I'll ask in the queue. Before you answer that question, let me ask another question. We try to wind down the show. The question asked in the queue, the decision you took in the last election, whatever, you can repeat that same decision again. I just the summary of the question. And then,
Yeah, that's a summary of the question. Yeah.
yeah, so the next question I would ask you, why we try to wind down a couple with it, not going more than two questions in. Just
We'll go
one
on.
question. Well, Remy, my question
Yeah.
is when it comes to diaspora Lutheran and pastors in Liberia, sometimes the tension come above. I think you are following some of our some of the chat room discussion, my Lutheran connection, diaspora pastor serving in leadership, serve leadership in the church in Liberia. There are some people that have been opposing that idea and some people in favor the last pastoral gathering that took place in the southeast or similar decision were taken that brought a lot of noise when the constitutional revision and the convention sent it back. From your own personal perspective, your own personal, what's the view of the diaspora pastor serving leadership in the Lutheran Church in Liberia? What is your view?
So I think this convention, I managed to talk to Frank Carlin, and I said to him, "Look, this is the perfect time since we are reviewing our constitution that we consider the diaspora Aliyah, our specific Aliyah, membership in full-time membership or affiliate membership into the LCL, that they too can come to our convention with delegates." Yeah, that's my perspective. Most of us colleagues who you see complain that at the time it was only because it's not in the constitution, you know, and that was the issue. And I said to Frank, I said, this is a perfect opportunity now, and since we're talking about reviewing our constitution, to do to come with that preposition that could be considered in our new constitution for Aliyah membership in the LCL membership categories. Yeah, so
The, the,
that's
the,
my perspective of that. Yeah.
yeah, I understand. My question is individual. that want to
It-
individual want to contest for the bishop election and the other
yeah,
diaspora want to come back home to
yeah.
contest election.
So again, individual individual move or membership, it makes it difficult because the current constitution we operate under, it says that you should be as a pastor. Like for instance, someone could you are a pastor there. How will you claim to be member here and then you are member on the other side? But the constitution here forbids that. The current constitution that we operate in forbids that. The only gap it has there if you are applied for maybe study leave. But how long your study leave cannot be perpetual. So the qualifier that I said there is a movement or the group called Aliyah. For me, that's my perspective. We offer that membership for individual ministers who are here under the umbrella or the canopy of Aliyah. Then for me, that in my mind, that make a lot of sense and stuff like that.
Thank you for your opinion. And then the second question, Paul question before Corporal will they come in. Whether
Yeah,
well,
Paul question. It's difficult right now to say yes, no. There are experiences that call for some of these decisions, and until those conditions reveal itself, it's difficult now to determine that. And remember, I'm not stepping in this game to say that I want to back off or I want people to back off, but I want this. When it is expedient, then we'll make that decision as we depend on God to lead us. But at this point in time, for me, it's kind of immature to start thinking that way. You're right.
so will you will you be running the next election?
Absolutely.
All right.
Formidable one.
Okay.
Honorable
Yeah.
force.
So
Yes.
Kabi,
Right.
Kabi.
It's very
Okay,
determined.
my question is, I'm taking you back, Reverend, to the pastoral fellowship.
Yeah.
Uh, is the pastoral fellowship a legal fellowship under LCL that was given the right by the Constitution, or it is a fellowship where our pastor decided to come together and say, okay, let's just form our pastoral fellowship, and whether decision from the fellowships are bounding on whosoever.
Yeah. So in the constitution, in our current constitution, the pastoral fellowship is not recognized as an organic organization. No. But the actions, the decision of the fellowship carry weight, influence decision of the church. Yes. And the
All right.
simple reason is that those pastors who we meet to make decisions. So the current constitution doesn't have it. But in the next constitution that we hope we can work on based on the resolution of the 2002 convention that is now asking the pastors to meet and present two candidates for election, that will automatically recognize the pastoral fellowship as a legal organization on the LCF practice. But as it is now, it's not recognized as a legal entity, but they are a force. That's the thing about it. They are a force. Yeah. And we saw their action in display in 1995 when the fellowship asked the late Bishop Emeritus Roland Dix to step aside. Yeah, he stepped aside. That's how the late Bishop Samuel E. Harris came in.
Yeah,
Though
I
it
can
was not a legal group,
And
but
and
I
and
mean, yeah,
and I think if you will be talking about since 1995 and up to present, it has not been placed within the Constitution. I think it is prudent enough for the pastoral fellowship to be placed in the Constitution, because someone may see it as a way of getting to another person when it comes to decision making. Someone say, okay, but the Constitution did not call for this. But then another person will say, okay, we are pastor, we come up with that decision. So for me, I think it is prudent enough that the fellowship be placed within the constitution, making it a legal entity within LCS. So whenever decisions are made from any of your gathering, it becomes bounding on whosoever the decision is made, instead of it being seen as a wish on. I think that's another a way
That that
forward.
that that
Yes.
yeah, that is fair enough. That's what I said in the 2022 convention, that there was a resolution already passed to asking the pastoral fellowship to play that role, which will automatically recognize the new constitution. We review or recognize the pastoral fellowship as a legal entity in the LCA. Yes, yes, I agree with that. Certainly.
So with it,
Yeah, I want to follow up on that pastoral fellowship quickly,
we get
Director.
Reverend, we get Reverend the time will be here all day.
No, I know, but Director, I want to follow up on that pastoral
We share
fellowship
the
quickly.
screen, Reverend will come back another time again. Who want for
We,
Reverend to come back all day?
we're going to bring back the Reverend.
Yeah, he had to come back
Um,
to part
Well,
two.
I'm available. Just let me
yeah,
know.
I want to speak on that pastoral fellowship, right? So, if the pastoral fellowship now is going to be quote unquote a legal group, now we're going to have like four fellowships in the church. We're going to have the men, women, the youth, and the pastoral fellowship. So, would the pastoral fellowship be like adjudicating cases, or would there be like, say for example, if a member of the pastoral fellowship happens to go wrong, or maybe be called or need to be suspended or something like that, or for example, if a decision is taken on a pastor and the pastoral fellowship says no, we don't agree, we don't think our member is treated fairly, uh you know, if there's a constitutional group, then I see
Conflict of interest.
I see a conflict of interest. Thank you very much. I see a conflict of interest coming from somewhere. All right. And now the deacons and deaconesses are going to have their own fellowship and want to be recognized as well. So it means we're going to have like five, and if possible, a sixth fellowship happening, because the young adult fellowship, they are also calling for a fellowship. So now we have three. We're going to have additional three fellowship in the church that want to be recognized. But for me, one thing I want to say to about with the pastoral fellowship issue is that the pastoral fellowship, I for one, I'm in favor of the fact that the pastors can come together, seek the interest of each other, but it should not be based on interest. It should be holistic. It should be void of, like, we have interest in Reverend Zayzay, so we'll fight his case. We don't have interest in Reverend Toto, so we cannot fight his case like that. It should be across all of the spectrum. If they are standing for Reverend Couple Saleh, they should stand for her, and if they are standing for Reverend Toto, they should stand for him, and it shouldn't be like cherry picking. For me, that is just my own concern about the entire when it comes to the pastoral fellowship. And
Yeah.
I want to say publicly that we've been trying to reach the Reverend Jomani Wiki. I don't know if he's still the head. We've been trying to reach with him, and we failed all attempts. We even went through the current BA to get Reverend Jomani Wiki on the show, because there are so many questions that we have, unanswered questions, especially when it comes to pension and all of that. What's the pastoral fellowship doing? But that's another conversation for another day. I will yield my question to my uncle. All right, I won't sit on this show, and my uncle has a question here, and I think I have
Yeah,
interest in that
yeah,
question as
myself
well.
have interest too.
I have interest in this question. How will you address the constitutional clause regarding a congregational preaching point, obtaining autonomous status as a church or a parish? My question is based on, I would say, our questions, because
Now your
I'm part of it
question.
as well. Our question is
Mhm.
based on the decision of the LCL in making peaceful congregation, Galilee a congregation, and Austin a congregation under St. Matthew Parish during the just ended LCL convention. Mind you, the normal process, in my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, the parent parish will have a convention, a congregational convention or parish convention, and have a resolution that um will it parish from feasible, or yeah, will it parish? A preaching point should be given a parish state that they are certified all of the requirement to be a parish, and they make that recommendation, and that recommendation is only taken up to the convention to be fully recognized. But in this case, some of the congregations were not decided, in fact, not to even be on a St. Matthew, but they were
It says
giving
in Matthew
congregation.
recommended them for parish status.
For our
Not all of these
associate,
congregations, not all of these congregations here. I
for
think
our
Galilee, either not Galilee, I think peaceful, either peaceful or Galilee. But one of the congregations here was not recognized or was not giving that recommendation, but it was giving status at the national convention and not from the St. Matthew convention. I think it's the All Saints Church.
the
All Saints
LCR,
congregation.
the LCR convention is the highest decision about it, right?
I understand that, but the
Yeah.
process here that we got to follow process.
We're looking at process.
We're looking at process that we shouldn't get out and say, oh, because it's a higher decision making body, but we're looking at the process. The process in the no one can just take you today because you that today and just make you revving. There's a process. You have to go through the core process before you become a reverend. That's the process that St. Matthew is talking
Can
about.
you give Reverend a chance to answer the question,
Yeah,
Willie?
they're
Because you
ready.
want to preach on
No,
the St. Matthew thing.
I don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, so well, I like the conversation, honestly. It's very insightful and thoughtful. So on the issue of some of the constitutional concerns that is being raised when it comes to the pastoral fellowship, it's not now on our current constitution, it's not legal, but there are plans, there's a prepositions to recommend not only pastoral fellowship. Personally, I have written a preposition to consider the accolade, the national accolade, the usher to be recognized in our constitution as a legal group. So in the next constitution, you see several of these fellowships that will be recognized as a legal group that will go to convention with delegates. So I just want to bring that to your attention. In the next constitution, you see a lot of names, a lot of fellowship groups as well. So on the issue about congregation getting the parish status, there is a procedure to follow. It starts first with the congregation asking the parent body for parish status, and at convention that will be resoluted and it will be recommended through the dean of that district, from the dean of the district to the office of the bishop, through the BMTEA, and then we go to executive council, and there's a whole process to follow on that. Yeah, there's a whole process. That's a whole process. But I know in the cases of All Saints, Galilee, I think Mosana, and Peaceful, I am told that they follow all the processes. So I don't know. I don't know of any. I'm told that they follow all the processes, and that's how they were recognized. On the other hand, the office of the bishop, through the recommendation of the BMTEA, can recognize a congregation as a parish. Like for instance, when Grand Coup Parish was founded, Grand Coup they didn't recommend it, but they had congregation that were meeting there. And the bishop recommended to executive council, and that congregation was recognized as a parish. So if they were like now in Sino, there's a congregation at a meeting. So I'm sure in the coming years or so, they could be recognized as a parish in that part of Sino. And the same would be also in Riverset, in Yapatan, there's a congregation that meeting there. They could be recognized as a parish too. So it depends on the context of those congregations, how it's being formulated, and then progress and stuff. So it depends on that. Yes, we are not following now the whole idea of having 500 congregants. Once that congregation is able to pay their pastor, pay the pension, those are two things we really emphasize. Pay the pastor, pay their pension, of course, have a place for them to stay. Yeah. So you'll find all these specific details in the next constitution, even our ministerial as well.
So follow up quickly, Reverend. So it does not matter. So for example, right? Let's say Aliyah decides to form a congregation down in Liberia, okay, and honor the LCL. And for some reason, we started to grow some membership, but we cannot pass the threshold of 150 or 200. But we decided saying, okay, we can pay the pastor and do everything, but decided we don't want to go on any parish as a preaching point and nothing like that. If the recommendation is made through some form of favoritism, for me, I'm speaking of the procedure. If recommendation is made through some form of favoritism in one of you, and the BMTA went to the bishop, and the bishop made the case, and the case went to the convention, and we are recognized as a parish, or we giving a congregation status, would that be a good precedent for other congregations coming up? Because now, the bishop, the Bravo is calling. So, okay, we will try to bring you on, Bishop. So, is that setting a good precedent for me?
So Will, let me come in. Let me come in. Let me come in. I just give you two scenarios.
Okay.
I give you two scenarios. When the church started in Grand Cru, there was no mother congregation that recognized them.
No,
so when the congregation met, you understand that?
Right.
When the congregation met and they started meeting, that's how they were recommended to the office of the bishop at the BMTA, who had gone there to verify, the membership and what they were doing. That's how they became parish.
Yeah, like the Guinea mission, or the Ghana mission, I will agree with that.
I come in. Like in the context where you explain it, if Aliyah is going to start a congregation in the Kakata district, let's say, or in Moria district, of course, the Moria district has to recognize you, that will subsequently recommend you to the office of the bishop. That's how it is done. That's how it is done.
When can you bring Bishop on? Bishop is in the queue.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, sorry, I'm bringing Bishop on. I just want to state that for in the instance of an emerging congregation, the Guinea ministry, the Grand Cru ministry, and all of that, that's an exception. But in this case, all sin was under St. Matthew already as a preaching point. It's all sin was under St. Matthew. Galilee followed the process. Follow the process with the Reverend Nushin. They all follow the process.
Can you bring Bishop on to clarify the issue?
All right, that I told you no problem. My
time. Yeah, Bishop can clarify some of that.
Bishop is here. Bishop. Go ahead, Bishop. No problem. Go ahead.
You got surprise.
Bishop is speaking. Are you all hearing him?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Bishop.
Hello, Bishop.
How are you doing?
Yeah, we okay.
Fine. Thank you. Fine.
Let me ask. I don't know who the Reverend there that is on tonight.
That's the Reverend Mulbah Zayzay.
Okay. Thank you, Reverend Zayzay. Let me ask one question. What is your point of contention with it?
My point of contention here, Bishop, is that everyone should follow the same process. It does not matter if the person holds a bigger title or not. All saints should have followed the same process as Galilee, Good Hope, and Mansana. Everyone should follow the same process.
Okay. So let me ask you the question again. Who are you listening?
Yeah.
Who did you get information from that there was a baptism process?
My information was gathered from St. Matthew. And right here, my uncle Paul Fala.
That's not your question, Woody.
Paul Fala is an executive member of St. Matthew. Okay. All right.
I don't know where Paul Fala comes from. He on the show?
Paul Fala is following the show religiously. He's from St. Matthew.
Okay, so let me say one thing.
He's going to ask a question.
Hello, Toto, are you there?
Yeah, we're all listening. Yeah, but Fala is the one who asked the question.
Let me get the information that Fala don't have.
All right.
Fala don't have an information. When there's no preaching point that was declared parish without the consent of the mother parish. You understand that?
Right.
Good. In the first place, when I attended St. Matthew Convention 2022 or early 2023 when I had just become bishop, the year when they gave me the chairs I'm sitting in right now, St. Matthew bought those seats and gave it to me. Austin registered that they wanted to be a parish. Unfortunately, what was told to Austin that it should have been discussed, they should apply to the parish before that time. So they were going to discuss it for nothing. I want you to listen to me. I want you to understand that nobody is speaking the truth to anybody. So the year that Austin, how you call it, Peaceful became parish, that year, Austin should have become parish. But because they did not apply to the people, it didn't happen. So when they applied, the pastor and I met. He told me that they were late, so they didn't receive that opportunity to become a parish. Later on, the parish council of St. Matthew asked the pastor. Dr. Johnson was president, council chairperson. They wrote approving Austin and Peaceful. Austin to become a parish then. But so at that time, it was now Peaceful and Bethany on St. Luke's that were approved the parishes, and they became parishes. When Austin was approved, that's how Austin this time was approved, was accepted by the executive council and passed on the convention, and it was approved that it was parish temple. Austin plus which parish was that? And Galilee. In fact, Galilee is the latest. Austin applied before Galilee. But a father, who you call father, he does not know the process. You don't even know when it happened. I don't know you were on the council even that time. There's nobody, and I challenge anybody in St. Matthew that they don't know that Austin applied the first time, and because they were late, they did not obtain that status, and they reapplied. And Austin, St. Matthew Parish wrote me that they approved Austin something. Now, let me say one thing to somebody. Like what Reverend Zayzay said. The parishes are to breed parishes. It's not just creating a congregation or preaching point where you come. And the authority of the church is that when a preaching point becomes vibrant, and even the office of the bishop through the BMTAs sees that that preaching point is vibrant, the purpose of establishing it as a parish is so it can grow. Right now, as I speak to you, Peaceful, who became parish a year or two ago, has now gained some other preaching points on it. That's the purpose of the parish. Austin, who was just declared, is also engaging on the Ralph Marshall Highway to make more preaching points. I want to say to you clearly that none of the preaching points that became parishes or parish was ever done by favoritism or by unfair practices. The process were all followed. I can tell you, and procedure man, it was followed. Because of that, at the convention, we praise St. Matthew for allowing their congregations to become parishes that expand the parish title of the church. If you in that place in America, they say, Aliyah. If Aliyah gets a congregation, well, a congregation must be recognized by the Lutheran Church in Liberia as a congregation. In that congregation, in fact, the first thing we do is that if it is established to become a congregation, we add that congregation under a parish and call it a mission fee to be supervised by a parish. At the stagger, when a congregation or this mission fee has grown to the level where it's capable of meeting the criteria for becoming a parish, yes, the BMTA recommends it. If there's a supervising parish and pastor, they will recommend it to be as a request from them, or even because they are supervisor, they can say to the Lutheran Church in Liberia, we think our mission fee has, with the approval, to become a parish status, to gain a parish status. But what I want you to know with it is that Austin was not because of special favoritism or anything. The time Austin should have become parish was long. The first convention, my first convention, they didn't become. They became parish this time because they didn't follow the process that time.
Bishop, sorry, I have a quick follow up. Dr. Toto, your brother congregation, what's the name of that congregation, please?
What brother talking about? Your
brother in Pinsville, there's a congregation there. Or I think it's in
St. Philip.
Is that Galilee?
No, St. Philip. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, mother congregation.
Okay, your congregation, St. Philip. So can we get a clarification on the status of St. Philip? Because I understand that St. Philip was also granted.
Why are you asking for the status?
No, I understand that St. Philip was given a parish status, but St. Philip.
Where?
That's the understanding that St. Philip got parish status.
What I told you with it, when you hear I'm the bishop of this church, you hear anything, ask me. Ask me and I'll give you permission. You're not doing that. St. Philip, St. Philip it's big enough. I went to the church. They built a very nice church. The pastor was sent to, and I told them that the way I see the church, after the pastor graduates, if they continue to grow as it is, they are liable. I mean, they are qualified that they can receive a parish status. That the process will be followed. Nobody have declared them parish. Nowhere.
Not yet.
Nowhere. So don't just jump a gun, Philip. I mean, not Philip. With it, find out.
Yeah, Bishop, thank you for the clarity. We are happy. We're happy for the clarity.
I mean, today I said you were here. The lot of information.
I'm happy because you people are bypassing each other. Instead of sitting and discussing the thing that you want clarity for, why not call me and ask me? I'm the head of the church. Why you don't call me?
When we do that, when we do that, you know that when we go to the office.
Reverend Zayzay try to even give you all the clarity. With it is still pushing a line. And I just got on the show. I heard Reverend Zayzay saying that all of the principles that became parish follow the due process. And with it is still saying no, Austin did not. How did he get to know that?
Bishop, I want to thank you for the clarification.
Thank you for the clarification. There was a question in the queue. That
was a question in the queue. That's why I prompted that.
There was a question in the queue.
There was a question in the queue by Uncle Fala.
Fala don't know the process. Fala is that. I don't know
Bishop Fala like uncle.
I don't care.
Bishop, thank you. Bishop, that's what it's your Sunday before you come. Before we see you 2 weeks in the U.S. for Aliyah Convention. That's what it's your Sunday. So we have to discuss the issue.
You're good night.
Yeah, Bishop will call you. Bishop will call you. You gotta come back.
So that's what is the Bishop Sunday.
Today say you call you. Next Sunday is Bishop Pablo Sunday.
Yeah, that's what that Bishop Sunday.
I'll be all the Moravia. I beg you.
Okay. So they can be other time on the show, Bishop. Somebody other time on the show. So that's what is the Bishop Sunday. We'll have it allocated for you. We'll discuss about the issue. You know. So
you're supposed to talk to me. You're not talking to me.
Sorry, Bishop, we're on the line. Why you away?
Sunday.
My data is always on. I don't cut it up because I expect call for anyway.
Okay.
So these people, when they come in the queue, ask a question, call me, ring me. Bishop will have this information. What is your take on it? If you don't have somebody else, I will help you. Well, I'm listening to you. Even Reverend Zayzay try to give you all the information and say nobody thinking you're not taking it to be true.
No. I did not.
Okay, all right. I listen to you. Good night. You're taking a good time.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you, Bishop, for the clarity.
That's one of the good things about the show. You see, one of the good things about the show here is that,
so
we got to make it interactive in order to make sure that things are clear, that people don't go with misinformation.
Why ever disagreement? I see poor father ready and line the queue. We'll ask poor father to go to the LCA office. Then you try to address the bishop office. Also, the concern he has about how the process will hijack or that. Then he reach to the LCA office. We'll try to encourage him to do that.
My uncle down there big
but we try to wind down the country.
Let's try to wind down. Yeah.
Our very happy to go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
And what will happen back or part 2 of the discussion? Who let's say there are box to be open here. Next intake. Why really? If I ask you to create part of Pablo leadership, what letter you get part of Pablo leadership that will make it to run? That's another point of discussion. So I'm not put a discussion.
My man.
Yeah,
That,
so
that
they would want that the show to a good discussion to that to our viewer out there. Test for 2 and then we'll come the couple give a closest in there. When they give a closest in there, then Bishop will give a closest in there, you give our benediction. You will give the benediction to us, and then we'll call it a day, and we'll be back.
night, yeah.
We'll be back next week. So, company want to give your closest in there.
Okay, Larry, once again, want to say thank you for
Thank you.
coming to our show. I know this is the first time I stand to be corrector, and we hope that it shouldn't be the last time, as you have already told us that comes future election, you are a phenomenal force in that election. So I know you will always be here whenever we call upon you. Want to say thank you again. And the discussion was fruitful. The issue of the due process, I hope that it be worked on, especially when people are accused. Give them the audience to say that part of it instead of just labeling them and coming up with decision. And I hope you take that into consideration as a person of interest of our highest church office. I hope that is taken into consideration. Yeah, and want to say thank you again for everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, Reverend, I think if I'm going to sit there to give thanks, I think we'll spend the next probably 2-3 hours. It's just going to be a conversation. But I want to thank you. Thank you so much. You see, you are one of the very few pastors, of our church. And I know, like, a lot of pastors in the back end, I maybe sound like, President Trump, but a lot of pastors in the back end will reach out to us and say, oh, thank you. But until you can come on the show, until you can come for us to have the conversation, we can't come on, we cannot come on air and start to speak for you just by ourselves. You need to come for us to have the conversation. So, Reverend, I want to say thank you so much. Particularly, I want to say thanks to Mother, and the children and the family
Mhm.
for standing
Mhm.
with you, for being
Mhm.
in your ministry. Uh,
Mhm.
but I want to make this call to all of our pastors that are out there that are watching. Please help us to get Pastor Jomani Wiki. We want to get him here in this August. Please, how can we get Pastor Jomani Wiki on the show? We've tried our best. We want to talk about this pastoral fellowship. You see, there are some concerns, by our pastors. But how can we discuss these issues? We've tried, Reverend. I want to say thank you to Reverend P. Reverend P has helped me. We tried to get Reverend Jomani Wiki at the very last minute. Our hopes were dashed down. So please, Reverend Zayzay, if you can help us as well. Bishop, I know Bishop is still following. And if you all can just help us to get Reverend Jomani Wiki, we want to talk to him. We want to speak with him regarding this show. Reverend J. Louis Mackay, I know you retired now, but those who retire are the best people to get us the pastoral fellowship chairperson. So please help us. We want to reach out to Reverend Jomani Wiki to appear on the show. And Bishop has said before that anybody who want to come on the show, they are free to come. He has said it. So, like you see, the Reverend Zayzay here today, Reverend Mackay has been here, and most of the pastors. So please, Reverend Jomani Wiki, we are calling on you. We want to speak with you. Thank you. Great show, Dr. Tudu.
Yeah, thank you. Also, let me just close to join the hairs of our two colleagues to say thank you, Larry, for our invitation. Most of the pastors that call us to express some concern, but when we tell them to come on the show, they don't want to come on the show. For some reason, best do it to them. But your presence here today shows that at least our church is doing some positive things on the other side. So, about the good thing you mentioned here tonight, we, we're very proud of. And if you're out there, we know sometimes the discussion can get so hot, question because of tears. We just want for people to be respectful how they pose their question. To use a word. We don't want to infringe on people freedom of speech or freedom of expression to block your comment or not to read your comment. We just want to be respectful, but let them be moderate in their comment to our guests and our literature as Liberia as a whole, without without letting without letting entertain a comment that was said to be disrespectful to the church or my Lutheran connection. So they want to make it clear that our view out there. We hope to come back another time. We'll work on another time again. Now really I make it clear to us that you'll be a force to record with in the next bishop election. We'll try to pick too much other hitter, you know, to see his play, what the play have with the Lutheran Church in Liberia, what his vision with the Lutheran Church in Liberia become bishop. So that's another Pedro pass will come to open. So Ray want to say thank you so much for coming again. You just gave us maybe a 2 to 3 minute closest statement. They can give our better days to take us home.
Man, to the
Well,
TV.
thanks again. Thanks to you all, Dr. Toto, Siskopo, and Willie, for this invitation. And my gratitude to the many Lutherans that are following the different comments and questions. Thanks to Bishop Palmer, who also came along to make some clarification. Thank you. It's an honor being on the show, and we look forward to more interactive engagement of this kind. We will all be available when the need arises. We'll all be available. On behalf of my wife, the case, and myself, we want to say thank you. We're grateful for the opportunity to be on the show tonight and for the many comments that are coming in, many listening as well. Thank you. On that note, give the benediction.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you, be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the continent above us and grant us peace. We shall all now depart in peace and continue to serve our God always, wherever we find ourselves, within the favor and the dimension of God. In the name of God the Father, in the name of God the Son, in the name of God the Holy Spirit. Amen.
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 Thank you again. Awesome.